Gasoline stimulus check update. As national averages for regular gas and diesel reached the highest records for the past couple of weeks due to geopolitical issues, many people are wondering how long the increase will last and when prices at the pump will eventually fall. As expected, this sharp price increase has driven motorists into a frenzy. Currently, the price of ordinary gasoline is at its highest in almost every single state of the country, at slightly over $5.8 per gallon. Rising gas prices have prompted citizens across the country to demand that the government take actions to reduce costs, including federal and state tax reductions, as well as new gas stimulus checks for households. The Gas Rebate Act of 2022. On March 17, 3 representatives, namely Mike Thompson of California, John Larson of Connecticut, and Lauren Underwood of Illinois, spearheaded the Gas Rebate Act of 2022, which aims to provide a $100 energy rebate to qualified Americans, plus another $100 for each dependent. This group of Democratic lawmakers has introduced this plan that will create a new national stimulus payment to help offset the rising cost of gasoline. Ideally, if the plan passes, millions of Americans will be eligible for monthly stimulus checks if national average gas prices hit $4 per gallon. This latest stimulus package is intended to help American families who have already been slammed by the greatest inflation increase in decades. Who is eligible for the gas stimulus check? Consumers earning $75,000 or less per year, or joint filers earning $150,000 or less, will be qualified to receive the gas stimulus payment if the bill passes Congress and the Senate. Additionally, dependents in these households would be entitled to a monthly payment of $100. For example, if you're eligible based on the said requirements and you have 3 children, you can receive $400 in total. Individuals earning $75,000 to $80,000 per year and joint filers making $150,000 to $160,000 per year would also be eligible for stimulus funding, though at a reduced rate. At $80,000 and $160,000, payments stop completely. Income will be assessed by the most recent tax return submitted, as with past payments. If those maximum income cutoffs ring a bell, it's because they're the same ones that came with the first 3 stimulus payouts that Americans have been given in the past. This concept is based on earlier stimulus checks used to help the economy recover from the pandemic. If you recall, the first stimulus payment was made in March 2020 for $1,200 per individual, followed by $600 in December 2020, and the last one was $1,400 in March 2021. But before we continue, go ahead and click the subscribe and like buttons. It takes a lot to make these videos. Your small actions tell YouTube to keep promoting our videos. Also, tell us in the comment section what you think about the Gas Rebate Act. Thanks. Now back to the video. What we don't know yet. Just like any congressional proposal, there are gaps that need to be addressed. In reality, we can't be 100% certain of the details until a law passes both the House and the Senate. Here are some of the questions we're waiting for answers to. First, there has been no announcement on how the new gasoline stimulus program would be funded, whether fresh funds will be needed or existing funds will be repurposed. The Internal Revenue Service, which would most likely be responsible for handling the payments, is already overburdened with the current tax season. Monthly payments, according to conventional opinion, would be wonderful talking points for Paul-challenged Democrats in November's midterm election. But a poorly managed plan riddled with IRS-style administrative and technical errors may backfire. Second, we don't know if any Republican legislators are willing to support the measure. The measure was written by 3 Democratic representatives. Not surprisingly, some Republicans are downright not in favor of the idea. In fact, Senator John Thune of South Dakota even mentioned in one of his tweets that dumping money into the economy like that is exactly what got us into this inflation mess in the first place. And honestly, he's not wrong. The $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, according to research provided by the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco last year, significantly contributed to rising prices. Even if it's in the best interest of their voters back home, today's partisan landscape makes it tough for a lawmaker to cross party lines. Robert Trust, chair and professor of economics at Northeastern, also noted in an interview that stimulus checks, as well as supply chain concerns, were contributing factors to inflation, although he also mentioned that the economy has been pretty steady, implying that the stimulus checks were effective. Even if stimulus payments in general have been wildly popular with Americans, congressional members' desire for future massive stimulus packages is likely to be weaker than it was a year ago. Republicans aren't the only ones who are skeptical of the proposal. The White House considered, past tense, sending debit cards to Americans to help with high gas prices, according to Axios. But a Democratic House counsel shut it down, in part because it would be ineffective and potentially worsen inflation. Lastly, the planned Gas Rebate Act of 2022 is set to last through the end of the year. There's no information on whether a clause exists that allows it to be extended until 2023. According to petroleum analysis experts, the current gas price hike is a bad scenario that isn't going to get any better anytime soon. The high prices are likely to last months rather than days or weeks, like they did in 2008. According to research, the annual national average is currently expected to reach its highest level ever. President Joe Biden recently imposed an embargo on all Russian energy items being imported into the United States, including imports of Russian crude oil, certain petroleum products, liquefied natural gas, and coal. The choice, according to experts, will contribute to the cost hike. According to the same group of experts, we're expected to see the prices undoubtedly go up in the short future. How much, where, and how to avoid it are still things that need to be determined. States that are ahead of the game. Regardless of whether the Democratic bill reaches President Biden's desk, some states have already taken steps to alleviate rising gas costs by implementing tax rebates. In Idaho, for instance, citizens will get a $75 tax rebate per taxpayer and dependent, or 12% of the taxes reported on their 2020 state taxes, to assist offset the rising cost of gasoline, whichever amount is higher. In Georgia, residents who filed tax returns for the years 2020 and 2021 will receive a one-time tax credit as a result of Georgia House Bill 1302. Single filers will receive $250, heads of households will receive $375, and joint filers will receive $500. Indiana lawmakers, on the other hand, have authorized a plan to deliver a $125 refund to residents who have filed their taxes for the year 2021. It's not much, but it acknowledges that some people will have trouble paying for gas. The New Mexico legislature approved a $500 refundable income tax credit for residents earning less than $150,000 per year. Single filers with a yearly income of less than $75,000 will be eligible for a $250 tax credit. Some states, including California, Maine, Hawaii, New York, Kentucky, and Minnesota, are all considering relief strategies to help their residents get by the rising gasoline prices. Where the Gas Rebate Act stands. While some bills move slowly via the vetting process, others move quickly. The Ways and Means Committee has been asked to look at the Gas Rebate Act of 2022. It is easy to envision Congress not wanting to waste any time on this bill. Other assistance proposals put in place. Representative Ro Khanna, a Democrat from California, and Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, a a Democrat from Rhode Island, also proposed another bill that would provide a quarterly rebate to consumers based on an oil and gas tax. According to a statement from the MPs, the big oil windfall profits tax would charge a per barrel tax equal to 50% of the difference between the current price of a barrel of oil and its pre-pandemic average price between 2015 and 2019. Oregon Congressman Peter DeFazio, on the other hand, introduced the Stop Gas Price Gouging Tax and Rebate Act, which proposes to impose a windfall profit tax on oil firms. This plan would tax oil firms on at least half of their windfall gains, as long as they are at least 110% of their average yearly taxable income.